Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest.
We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it?
He can't feel but one way, and that's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp. When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
By examining his own attitude towards the possibilities of peace, towards the Soviet Union, towards the course of the Cold War.
Art muscle. It was a way of making me feel that they were a part of me.
You see it on the bridge. Wait, how they get it? If the government had to change the screw in the bridge, they had to shut it down. They got state troopers out there. They got lanes closed. They got their strange machines. How did they get up there?
Yo, 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 yo. What's up, people? Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday, however you want to call it, whichever you prefer. Good to see you. I hope all is well. 2 more days before the weekend. Shout outs to my poets, my writers, content creators. You know who you are. Big thank yous. Love, support, all that good stuff. I got Sydney in the building. See the title. We got a lot to unpack, as per usual. Let me bring Sid up. Oh, by the way, if you see the QR code at the top of the screen, that is Sydney's Blue Sky. So if you want to follow her over there, if you have it, all you got to do is pull your device out, scan it, bada bing, bada boom. Dig. Sid, what's going on?
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm right.
It's good.
Crunch time.
Do you like my shirt? Warning, may spontaneously talk about tornadoes.
I like
compared to related to the topic last week, the U.S. just had their first F5 tornado since 2013 in it was either North or South Dakota. Luckily, it didn't really affect. It did affect a community, but it was more like the rural area, so it was mostly out in the farmlands. But it threw one of those like big giant going out into the field thingy-mabobs, like a couple hundred feet. So that was pretty cool. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. I've just been researching volcanoes and the demise of our democracy today.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to like hijack you today, but
Oh no worries. This is a very important topic, so I'm glad we're covering this.
yeah, I was on Instagram, right, and I made my stories, and this particular woman that I follow, she's very involved with the political stuff. And as I'm watching, I noticed the captain says there are snipers on the roof in Portland shooting at people who are supposed to be peacefully protesting. And I'm like, oh, that's wild. Now, mind you, they're not actual bullets, but they're still shooting people nonetheless. And
That we know of.
right, yeah, you're right about that. I got a clip I'm gonna play. And then on top of that, I recall you speaking on something with Chicago. That's another one that I wanted to address too, because I forgot about what was going on out there. It just slipped my mind, but yeah, let me bring this up on the big screen really quick. This ain't the video that I saw. This is a different one. This is a little more MA TV MA, so it's not technically graphic, but it does have some blood. So
Distressing.
yeah. YouTube shouldn't be too mad at this one. I don't think so. So I'm gonna let it rock out. I don't think it's that long of a video.
ISIS has been perpetrating against the citizens of this country. This 84-year-old woman was knocked to the ground, shot in the head, likely by a pepper ball, this weekend in Portland, Oregon. They tear gassed 27 Chicago police officers. They intentionally shot this priest in the head with a pepper ball round. They shot this activist in the back with pepper ball rounds. In Portland, they're on a roof shooting down on peaceful protesters.
They're up there shooting fucking rubber bullets down at this crowd, and listen, they ain't doing shit. They're just standing there flipping them off.
They maced an activist in the eyes while he's being held on the ground. Another peaceful protester getting blasted in the face.
Hey, this is the line that they created.
Oh, and then they go on to pepper spray the air intake of this guy wearing a frog suit. Border Patrol shot a woman with live rounds in Chicago. Body cam footage shows the Border Patrol agent said, "Do something," before he got out of the car and shot her 5 times through her door. Share this video because people are simply not aware of the level of brutality and the level of escalation happening right now. This is not normal. This is a rogue agency not being held accountable for the brutalizations of U.S. citizens.
Stand here. I'm telling you to stand. Else you're next. Time to get up. Get up now. Arrest ICE. Wake up. They shot a Chicagoan today. Arrest ICE.
You're next. I want to.
That's why I wanted to do that video. This is why I wanted to cover this. That's that. How, why, what could you say to rationalize this behavior? I always thought protesting was supposed to be one of the last forms of freedom of speech. If you do it correctly, I guess you have to follow certain protocols. But as long as you do everything in decent and order, you have every right to stand wherever you want within the confines of the rules, regulations, and you can speak however you see fit about whatever you're not happy with. We got a problem. We have a huge problem. And it goes beyond just the protesting. But I want your initial thoughts on this. Not even just the video, but including the video and this overall, what you see with this.
Well, first of all, besides it being incredibly unconstitutional, because as, what is it, the First Amendment, we have the right to peacefully protest, and like 99% of what I've been seeing are peaceful protesters. You are allowed to stand there and yell at police officers. You are allowed to call them names. You are allowed to say things to them as long as you're not putting your hands on them, trying to injure them, shooting at them, like using weapons on them. You are protected by free speech. And so the fact that they are attacking people to a extreme degree, peaceful protesters, that is 1,000% unconstitutional. That is not allowed, and it's frankly disgusting and disturbing to see this happening in our country, especially at the rate and severity that we're seeing. They are labeling people who are peacefully protesting as terrorists. They are trying to say that these peaceful protests around the country they're plants for Antifa, a national organization, which is completely false. And to be honest, the fact that they're getting triggered by Antifa, which is short for anti-fascism, really indicates that they're probably fascist, because why else would they be bothered by people being bothered by fascism unless they're doing it? And this myth that the stuff that they're doing to people, oh, well, it's harmless, like this isn't going to actually hurt people. It does. The chemicals they use on people can cause problems with your health, even long-term effects on your health. The pepper balls have killed people in the past. In 2004, there was a woman who was killed by a pepper ball after she was shot in the eye with a pepper ball. So these can cause injuries. And obviously, we saw that man with the pock marks all over his back from those bullets. The risk of infection, the risk of sepsis, if you get a severe infection, is pretty substantial, especially if you have a bunch of open wounds. And again, we have seen left and right people breaking ribs, people getting skull fractures, people breaking their legs, people breaking their arms, all because of them being violently handled by ICE agents, who we don't even know if all of them are officially ICE agents. We've already heard reports of people pretending to be ICE agents so they can break into women's homes and assault them. I don't think they have a vetting process for ICE. I'm more than certain a bunch of those people just decided to wake up one morning, put on a mask, and go out there with a weapon. And the fact that this is happening is a huge, huge indicator of the damage they're doing to our Constitution, to our democracy, and the proof, really, that they don't care about us. They just want us gone so they can take over this country and do whatever the heck they want and use their power against us. So I do not condone this behavior. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Anybody who is an ICE agent should be ashamed of themselves, and I hope history does not look kindly upon you.
It won't. None of this is going to go over well with anybody that's cosplaying as this fictitious superhero. You going out here pretty much reenacting your childhood desires and oh, I get to hit live targets. Yay. All I have to do is pretend and put on a uniform. You telling me that I'm looking at police officers getting shot at, pepper sprayed? They're not even arresting none of these people. I'm watching these videos and it's very surreal, extremely incomprehensible to me to see this actually in real time in our backyard. I'm talking about the level of lawlessness, the lack of ethics, the lack of morale. It's literally people breaking the law to me in every way, shape, form, or fashion. And you know it's bad when you got someone that's shooting inside of someone's car. You shot at a what, say 74, 84-year-old woman. You shot her in the head. You shot at a preacher. Like, you're literally playing around with people's life. They're out there actually for a reason they believe in. Like, nobody is about to gather hundreds and hundreds of folks if they're not fed up with something, if they're not happy about something. Those are the people that the internet wish they could be, to me. Because as much as you see us talk about this stuff, or you see people in the comment section arguing, oh, if I was there, or you should do this, and here's somebody, but y'all not going out there doing that. You're not standing there for hours. You ain't willing to go through the risks and the dangers that they're going through, which is crazy to even say. I never associated protesting with getting shot at. Those are not two words or two phrases that I connect with. That's wild to me, and it's absolutely disgusting and disturbing. Don't know how nobody I find myself saying that a lot. I don't know how nobody's really talking about that stuff. I don't.
They are, but I think a lot of the information is being suppressed. I mean, Google has already been found to be suppressing information about Trump's health. I would not be surprised if they were suppressing information in other areas, especially because Google was one of the many donors to Trump back when he was running to be elected. And they also stand to gain from supporting the president in the sense that they don't want to be censored. Some of these people, they're either going to bow down or they're going to stand up and risk their careers. And a lot of these wealthy backers are not willing to risk their fortunes to support the democracy because money is more important to them.
Always has been. Always has been. Never was surprising to me. It just hits different when I'm actually watching soldiers and troops walk up and down my street. And from what I'm hearing and from what I understand, they're snatching up black people from their homes out here in Chicago. What are y'all doing? What are we really dealing with here?
Gestapo 2.0.
I'm wondering, how did we get here? Like, you still find people online, because I've argued well, I haven't necessarily argued. I've had a few exchanges with a couple of Trump supporters who still defend him, and it's like, wait, what? You, his spiritual advisor. I'm spinning back on that one.
What a joke that he even has a spiritual advisor when we all know he doesn't even have a soul.
That is hilarious to me. I'm still waiting on people to give me an answer to that. How do you support, or how do you feel knowing that your guy has been hanging out with someone who likes to fondle on kids?
He also accidentally let it slip this morning that he would consider pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, even though he keeps saying he doesn't know who she is. He said that he'd look into her case and he would consider pardoning her.
So I guess that means Diddy is not doing 4 years then.
He also has considered a pardon for him as well as Puff Daddy.
Yo, either we are just some of the biggest fools, or they're just extremely good at making people believe in their bullshit.
I keep saying the people that still trust him at this point, they're either blind, they're stupid, or they support it. There are those people that want to see people get punished for who they are.
I'm convinced. I'm very, like, all right, as a grown man, you take on these jobs to go into these neighborhoods and into these areas. When you sign up for these missions, do you go into them knowing that you really don't give a damn about the people? Is this just our way of spitting in our face? It has to be.
Yes.
I don't respect it. I don't support it. I don't advocate for it. And another reason behind these live streams is to let people know, hey, look, there's more going on out here on social media than just Kevin Hart and Kai Sinai collaborations. You know, your neighbors is probably getting the shit beat out of them by a Cape Crusader pretending to be someone that is upholding the law. You might want to take your phone out and start recording. You might want to start looking into these laws. You might want to get your neighborhood together if we at a point where you can't even protest peacefully. You telling me, damned if I do, if I don't? Like, you don't want us using violence to get your attention, but you ignore us. It was a week ago or so, and you was talking about there was a group of people. It was either you or Rob. He was like, these people have been protesting for years in the same spot, and nothing ever happens. Nothing ever changes. You gotta basically just ignore people. So you're ignoring the folks that's doing everything by the book, and on top of that, you're adding insult to the injuries. So no guns, no violence, no burning and breaking windows, and we can't destroy property. And on top of that, you're going to ignore the folks that's doing everything the right way too. Awesome. Sounds like a fun job for somebody who is out to play. What's the name of that movie, man? It comes to me. I'm gonna yield the mic.
The Circle.
That's one. That's definitely one of them too.
If you care about the country, get something like this. Has the Constitution inside, Declaration of Independence. This particular copy also has a bunch of powerful and historically important speeches. Treaty information, State of the Union addresses, speeches by, I think there's also a speech in here by MLK, even Albert Einstein in here. Yeah, get yourself physical documentation of American history, of American documentation, because they're trying to get rid of this stuff. I don't know if it's still not up there, but a couple months ago, they removed the Constitution off of the federal website, the president's website for the White House. They removed the Constitution from the website. If that doesn't say anything, I don't know what does. The fact that they're banning books, the fact that they're starting to institute laws about what you have to teach in schools. Oklahoma has already mandated that every classroom has to have the 10 Commandments available in the classroom. While I'm not against discussing religion in classrooms, because it is important to educate kids about the different types of religions, not just one, you should be teaching them about the Muslim religion. You should be teaching them about the Christian religion. You should be teaching them about all the other satellite religions that exist, because it is important to understand the people around you so you can promote tolerance. And the fact that they're heading towards a theocracy, which is a government governed by religion, is not a good sign for our constitutional rights, because the Constitution specifically states that this isn't not an anti-religion country, but it is not focused on religion. It's focused on the people, and you're not supposed to mandate religion of any kind within this country, because that will infringe on the rights of other people who do not follow those religions or who do not follow religion at all. And the fact that they're starting to mandate people follow a certain religion is unconstitutional. So all of this that's happening, we are now an authoritarian state, which means we are ruled by a single party. We are now heading towards a theocracy, which is ruled by a certain religion. We are also headed toward an oligarchy, where it's ruled by, I think, let me differentiate between oligarchy and oligarchy is the one where the power rests within a small amount of people. Autocracy? That was the other one. I think autocracy is like the kingship. Autocracy is absolute powers held by one person, which is exactly what you know who wants to be. So that would include monarchy, having a king. And then what's the other one called? There's another term for when it's ruled by the elites. Let's see. I'll find it. But yeah, we're basically headed towards this country being ruled by everyone except us. And this country is supposed to be we the people. We are supposed to be the ones making all those decisions. And the fact that this one group of people is trying to lord over this entire country and determine the future for all of the civilians, regardless of what we voted for, is a huge indication that our constitution, our democracy, is being eroded from within. And then the fact that they're also twisting it and making it seem like all of these people who are protesting, all of these people who are unhappy with what is happening are the terrorists is completely outrageous and unconscionable, and again, unconstitutional. They issued an order, I think it was like a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, where they defined what they considered to be terrorist behavior, which included people that were anti-American, people that were anti-Trump, people that were anti-government. Their actual terminology, turn my phone on rotate. So they're basically saying that people who are anti-fascist are showing a pattern of violent and terroristic activities, and this movement is damaging to the American principles. The anti-fascist lie has become the organizing rallying cry used by domestic terrorists to wage a violent assault against democratic institutions, constitutional rights, and fundamental American liberties. Common threads animating this violent conduct include anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the United States government, extremism on migration, race, and gender, hostility towards those who hold traditional American values on family, religion, and morality. So basically, if you're not Christian, if you don't support Trump, if you don't support what they're doing to this government, and if you support people of other races, of other genders, of other identities, then you are a terrorist. They've also been directly targeting people of different races, different identities, with misinformation, making them out to be terrorists. All of this stuff about liberals are the ones being violent, when almost like 99% of these shooters are white Christian men who identify as MAGA. So this is a direct assault against every decent human being in this country. And it's completely unconscionable. And as I'll say over and over, unconstitutional. This is against everything that America actually values. And they're lying to us, making us think that the ones protecting it are the ones that are terrible. We can see this with all the assaults on people that are protecting our country. Bernie Sanders, Jasmine Crockett, Ocasio-Cortez, Governor Pritzker in Illinois, and Governor Newsom in California. He has so many nicknames for them. He's so ready to insult them or claim he doesn't know who they are. He does not want to credit anybody with protecting democracy because he knows what he's doing. They know that they're stealing power from Americans. We all see it in like television. Like we see it happening live right in front of us. And the other thing I want to bring up too, recently there was an apartment building that was completely cleared out by ICE. And the purpose of that was to clear the building. What happened was the landlord of that apartment decided that he wanted to oust the renters. In my opinion, it was probably so he could raise the rates and sell it to people who are to rent to people that are willing to pay higher prices. They cleared the entire building by ICE. This is where the images of the children naked in zip ties came from. And they filmed this to make a promotional video for ICE, making them look at us, we're all macho, powerful, look at how great and American strong men we are, look what we're doing for this country, blah, 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 blah. And they showed clips of them marching people out in their pajamas in the middle of the night, who are all peacefully walking out, who most of them were American citizens, claiming that they were helping this country. A lot of these people they are assaulting are American citizens, they're politicians, they're people reliant on certain medical care. They just deported an amputee, double amputee, And I think for like 39 days, they didn't tell anybody where he went. There was another individual that they recently were able to finally locate because they arrested him and put him in whatever prison camp they put him in under a pseudonym. So they didn't even allow him to be identified by his real name. We all know that thousands of people went missing for a long, extended period of time. We all know people are being sent to countries they have never even been to in their entire lives. We are seeing people they're still trying to deport Abrego Garcia, even though judges have repeatedly found that it is unconstitutional for him to be treated the way that he was, to be sent where he was. I think he's been sent to 3 different countries already. So the fact that all of this is happening is just a direct attack on civilians, decent, normal human beings that live in the United States, regardless of who they are. This is not about immigration. This is about making sure they silence the American people and get what they want.
I'm not going to cooperate. We're just going to have to beat you into cooperation.
Or threaten.
Basically. This is everything about this makes me want to pack and just.
I've told my husband multiple times, like, let me know when you get to the point where you're interested in moving to a different country, because I'm all for it. Like Mexico, Canada, I don't even care. Like, Europe, Australia, if you'll take me, I'll go. It's crazy that you can be a white American citizen. Like, my mother was born in this country. My grandmother was born in this country. Her grandmother was born in this country. We've been here since probably the 1600s or so. And we could still be in danger of being deported. I could still be in danger of my rights being taken. They just proposed a law in South Carolina to make it a capital punishment can be used for women who seek an abortion, go out of state to seek an abortion, anybody who drives somebody to a different state to get an abortion, or doctors that give people information about abortion. And there's also another law that's being proposed where birth control would be considered abortion, even if you're not even pregnant. They're attacking women. They're trying to force us to be baby machines, to be slaves in the kitchen, to take our rights. There's another law proposed. I don't know if it's nationally or if it's just a couple states, but they're also trying to make it so if you are not married, basically you have to vote under your husband. Like, whatever the man votes, he will that is the woman's vote as well. Like, you can only have one vote per married couple. And so that means they're taking the women's right to vote. If she changes her last name, there's the potential that she could be banned to vote, because they're trying to make it so if you have a name change, which is, again, going after trans individuals, if you have a name change, then you will not be able to vote because you'll have to vote under your birth name. So they're attacking us from every level. They're preventing us from voting. They're preventing us from getting the care we need. They're preventing us from having medical care. They're banning us from being able to peacefully let them know that we hate what they're doing. They're trying to prevent us from talking bad about them on TV, in public, whatever, you name it. We can't even be peacefully sleeping in our own homes. We could still be in danger of being stolen from our homes and sent to a different country, even if we're born here.
You hate to see it, but you see it, and it's like, damn, okay, yes, this is real. Eat your Wheaties, say your prayers, and get your house in order. Do you believe that they can pull off keeping women from voting, do you think it's possible that they could add an additional term to a president? Are these actually possibilities?
I want to say no, because I feel like we will push back on that. Like, if women are noticing that they're losing the right to vote, I highly doubt people are going to sit down for that. But the thing that makes me nervous is that they're not operating within the normal bounds of the law anymore. These people are more than happy to lie to us, to do things out from under our noses. For example, they sent the military into Chicago despite an order telling them they were not allowed to. They sent in, I think, 500 troops, National Guard troops, even though literally 2 days ago they issued an order, which I think was supposed to last for 30 days, where they were not allowed to send in the military. They're trying so hard to be able to institute the Insurrection Act, which would allow them to deploy the military across the country in a case of violent upheaval, violent, what do you call it? Like, if we all went crazy and we're like being violent and taking over the streets and like mobs and setting things on fire. And that's why they keep saying all that stuff about Portland, how the whole city is on fire. And then you see people like, it cracks me up. The news stations that aren't supporting this garbage are showing videos of people like, they have his quotes. They have him saying what he's saying, like, oh, it's just a violent blah, 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 blah. And then they show people like a picture of people calmly walking down the street in Portland. Another one that I love is people were passing around a photo of people at a farmer's market in like the bread area. And they're saying like, look at all these degenerates waiting in bread lines. They're just like at a farmer's market. But yeah, they're trying so hard to produce these lies that all of these cities they're sending them to are in violent upheaval. Like, I've driven through LA recently. It's not in upheaval. I was in Chicago 2 years ago, and it was a very quiet city. Like, and then we also have a friend who just came from Portland a year ago, and it is not ruled by Antifa. There aren't people running the streets. Like, sure, every state or every city has their problems. No matter where you go, you're going to find women of the night or men of the night. You'll find people that are struggling with drug addiction. You'll see people being violent because people are people. No matter where you go, there's going to be people committing murder. There's going to be people that are driving on the streets being obnoxious. Like, you're going to find that anywhere, no matter what. But they are purposely focusing on these cities because they're highly democratic. That's the only reason they're going after these places, because we're the ones that are wide awake and unhappy with what the heck is happening. So this is, I mean, if they truly cared, they would send them to all different states, but they don't. They don't send them into Texas. They don't send them into Florida. They're not sending them into Nebraska. They're sending them to demographically democratic regions. So yeah, this is, again, unconstitutional. I'm going to say it over and over, so hopefully it'll stick. This is not right. This is against your rights as an American citizen, regardless of whether you were born in this country or not. We have certain rights in this country. If you went through the proper pathways to get American citizenship, you are an American citizen. Puerto Ricans are American citizens, no matter what they say. This is completely ridiculous. And I really, really hope people start to wake up and realize that we cannot just sit by and twiddle our thumbs, because what they are doing is banking on that. They're hoping we're just going to sit by and be like, oh, what? I don't notice anything. Or they're hoping we're going to be so scared we're just going to sit inside and let them steal the country from under our feet. So this is the time that we take to the streets. This is our time for March on Washington. This is our time for a second set of Nuremberg trials. This is our time to show these people that we will not stand for their violence and their disgusting behavior against us. Also, I've also been hearing that the news that they're putting on largely conservative websites, they're actually using imagery from other countries to say, like, oh, look, violent protests and blah, 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 blah. And like, one of the ways you can tell is they're showing pictures. Oh, let me fix the brightness. They're showing pictures where the signs or the that says Policia. That's not American. That is not from this country. If you see things written in Spanish in these videos, it's not from America. It's crazy how much they're doing to convince. And then also they're using badly done AI to convince us that Obama is encouraging violence, that these people are like promote. I forgot who it was, but they showed a Democratic politician in a sombrero saying that they want all the Mexicans to come to this country and help us like overthrow the government and some. I'm like, oh my God, the lengths they're going, and the fact that it's so blatant and they think that we're that stupid, that it's just so ridiculous. I cannot believe I'm living through this time period and we're only 9-10 months in. Like,
you still think this AI is your friend? Remember, I was from yesterday and this morning. You put the wrong type of people behind a device with the knowledge to wield the applications that are provided, and you will see some very disastrous outcomes. Like I said, in another year, they will have a network. It will be an artificial intelligence. I don't know what they'll title it. I don't know what they're going to call it, but that particular network is going to be strictly AI ran, and it's going to have all of your favorite celebrities that have died. It's going to have every single politician. You name a person that is no longer here, they're going to turn them into something. They're going to have news channels. They're going to have all types of stuff. I can see it. Like, I'm not even holding my breath because I'm confident that it's that close. The fact that you even say what you said about Obama reinforces just how simple-minded some people can be when you see something and automatically assume that you're getting what you're getting. You're not really going to be able to tell. Like, if you can differentiate it now, what makes you think you're going to be able to later? If they really wanted to, they could just let a AI generated version of Trump talk. Just let him get in front of a fake ass screen where actually it's a green screen behind him. They just have a fake version of him do everything. All he got to do is sit back in the Oval Office, give the prompts, let them know what to do, what to say, and let that run it. Like, if they really, it's that bad. The devices that we have. You know what's interesting? Of all the advancements that I've seen in China and all these other countries, I rarely hear them talk about and I could be wrong, but I've never really heard them talk about them using their own inventions against their own people. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I don't really hear about it. Take away the Palestine, Israel. I'm talking about like Africa, the U.S. don't like us, man. The U.S. don't like the people. They don't. If they did, they would care about what you had to say out your mouth. You can't say nothing online no more. You can't even, like, protesting doesn't even do that. I used to see the protesters almost every week coming home from work. When they had that situation with the Department of Education, the protesters was out. But guess what?
They even arrested a high-ranking military official because she refused to participate in sending weaponry to Israel to use on Palestinian people.
Yep. I uploaded something about that. What, a day or two ago? They not playing. Somebody got in the comment section and was like, "Oh, she wasn't really even active anyway, so it doesn't matter what she says." Man, stop trying to discredit people who have a voice, and they're telling you they are playing with us in our face, destroying homes, removing, you sending people to countries that they've never been to before. You shooting at people, you spraying people, you raiding homes. There's nothing American about any of this.
On Fox News, they've also been having various guests come on. They had a former Antifa member, a former Gazan, and a former gang member. However, every single one of those guests was the same person. He's a Fox News contributor, and they just have him wear different masks and a very offensive costume of a Middle Eastern, but he's all the same man, and you can tell because this guy has some super notable eyes. You can definitely tell that that is the same person, and they're trying to use him to promote false information under a different guise each time. So if any of you guys still watch Fox, stop watching Fox. I promise you that is a machine of misinformation. They are not spreading the truth. They are incredibly biased, and they're promoting incredibly racist, horrible topics to people, assuming that we'll follow and believe that stuff. I don't think he was on Fox News, but they're associated with that other individual who said that we should kill all homeless people, who was slapped on the wrist and allowed to continue his TV show. Meanwhile, a certain famous celebrity that we all know said a single joke about Mr. Orange Head, and he was removed off the air, and it was only through public pressure that he was allowed to come back. That just shows you how much money is able to manipulate what's happening, because they only brought him back because they lost money, because people were canceling their subscriptions en masse. That's the only reason they brought him back. And that's why I keep saying to people, at this point, we can't just take to the streets, because very clearly they're attacking us for it. We have to start boycotting these companies. We can't buy from Amazon. We can't buy from Google. We need to get rid of our Facebooks. We can't be on Twitter. Like, we cannot support these people because they are, even though they're not the ones doing these things, they are financial ties to these people. They are supporting them, and they're promoting this type of information, and they're promoting this type of behavior through supporting these types of people. So boycotting is really going to be where we make the best statement, because these companies are already struggling because of what is happening in this country. We're very quickly heading towards a Great Depression cliff. And that is really, our dollar at this point is our best vote. It's the best thing that we can do to show how unhappy we are with what they're doing.
Are we going to do it? Is this going to be like Netflix, when everybody just band together and collectively say enough is enough? Not right now. I don't see that happening. I think there are people who feel like us, and they're actively making it clear that they're willing to do what's necessary to make this happen, but we're still comfortable. We are still too, it's not really that serious yet. We still got time to play around with this. So I'll wait until it gets a little more close. Maybe a couple more blocks. Maybe a couple more doors. Then I'll start taking this serious. We don't have nobody to really blame but ourselves. I've said that a lot. I gotta keep reiterating it because we did not have to be here. None of this had to happen. What happens next year does not have to happen. The things that we haven't even seen happen yet does not need to happen. But it's going to happen because we aren't going to go through the measures to make sure that they don't get away with what they are doing or working on behind the scenes and right there currently in our presence. So my thoughts and first of all, my thoughts and prayers to people who are getting uprooted out of their houses, snatched up off the streets. My thoughts and prayers go out to the men and women who are getting assaulted for just being out there trying to do things the right way. Nobody deserves to be treated like that. Don't care what side of the political spectrum you stand on.
I recently saw a video, it was a couple days ago, of a family that was in their car and they had their newborn baby in the back seat. And despite the mother screaming, "There's a baby in the car, there's a baby in the car," they smashed the window on the side where the baby was sleeping. Like, they do not care about you. Even if you're a vulnerable human being, even if you're only 4 weeks old, they're willing to smash glass over your head to steal you out of the car. They've already separated babies from their mothers. They've already, as I said, deported people while they were on chemo, a child who is on chemo. They've deported people who have disabilities, who can't vouch for themselves and didn't tell the families where they were. They've deported people who are relying on other types of care, such as like kidney dialysis and other forms of medical treatments. They don't care about you. And just because you're a white American doesn't mean you're immune to this. So people need to keep that in mind, that nobody's safe at this point, unless you're like a super open out MAGA. Honestly, even you guys are going to be at risk too. But this is something we need to come together about. We need to be there to protect our neighbors, to protect our friends, to protect the people around us that are vulnerable to these situations. Like, There's other videos that I've seen of like surgeons getting arrested protecting their patients, judges getting arrested protecting people that were literally just released from immigration court and were deemed allowed to stay in this country. So anybody and everyone could be a victim of this. And as you said, my heart goes out to anybody who's already experienced this type of violence. I can't even imagine the PTSD that's going to come from this. Like, especially if you're stolen, sleeping from your bed. Like, that is just... every day I think it can't get worse, and I see more stories of how it's getting worse, and I just pray for this country, pray for everyone, American citizens or not, that you're able to avoid being treated so horribly. The fact that this is happening in America is astonishing and disgusting and sickening. Also, I want to throw out there, in California, and I think a couple other states, they're passing, they haven't, what is it called? A proposition. In California, it's Proposition 50, and it's going to help with the redistricting of California. One of the things that they're trying to do is they're trying to redistrict states that are largely Democratic, because in certain voting situations, it's based on whether they're a red state or a blue state. And if you shift the demographics to favor communities that are red, and you base it off of how many districts you have versus what the population is, you can make it so even states that have higher quantities of democratic individuals, that the state will still show up as red because they're going off of the number of districts that are red. And most rural communities are red because of the types of people that live in them. Democratic communities are largely young families, working families, where red states are typically retirees and people who are significantly older than the population. They tend to hold more conservative views because of the systems that they rely on, because of the way that they were raised, the generations that they grew up in. And they're trying to make it so they have a lot more power than they should, just because they want to make sure that they can procure as many red votes as they possibly can. And if you live in these blue states or even red states, you have to make sure that they're not over exaggerating the support for these types of people, because what they're doing, again, is illegal, and they're trying to do this that way they can take away the democratic majority of this country.
We got our hands full. That's for sure. I hope for the best. I pray for the better. Throughout all of it, these are just my last thoughts on it. First, I want to say, I don't really have a side on this. I always stand for right and wrong. That's it. I don't really care about red, blue, Democratic, Republican. That's not my thing. I just want people to do right by people in general, and they're not. They've done a miserable job. They've been doing a miserable job. And God don't like ugly. You're abusing power. You're hurting people. You're taking advantage of a nation that has done nothing but sacrifice and bleed for you. Yeah, we have a government, but there wouldn't be a government without people to govern. And the world wouldn't run at all if none of us decided to get up the next day and go out here and clock in. I would love to see what it would look like if people from state to state decided, I'm not going to work. Everybody stayed home. And wasn't scared to be evicted. They weren't scared of the ramifications that came from these middle-aged, well, none of them middle-aged. They're borderline. They right there. Yeah. And I don't.
They also have more health conditions. Democrats have less health conditions than Republicans.
It's all weird, all of it. I would love to see everybody just say, for a month, nobody go to work. All of us go on strike. Let's see how they moved in. One could only dream, but it's not going to happen. Sounds nice, but it ain't going to happen. But we got to do something. Just food for thought. Any final thoughts that you want to share with the people before we go?
I got a poem. And if you're in California, vote yes for Prop 50.
Sensational.
This one I wrote specifically about ice. I called it Ice Age. There are glaciers whose significance and power bring beauty and can shape the land and those upon it in a way that can hardly be imagined. They refresh the land with tributaries, record our existence into stone, and have a gravity that can even change time. Then there is ice, cold, sharp, harsh, and dangerous. Blank faces like blizzards bring an obscuring, howling fury, scattering across soul-snatching lakes, piling up, cracking, snapping, threatening. Any wrong move will bring an end no living creature should endure, rapidly chipping away at the stability, shifting the entire system from beneath. Glaciers can be looked upon with wonder and awe for generations, yet, due to ice, we have no choice but to look upon this winter with fear. My eyes melt despite the bitter chill inside, skin and bones aching from the memories of what your exposure has done to my community. You have made us unsafe. You have invaded our space. You have lied in our face. Your paycheck is earned with a head count of hate. You have frozen us in a state of numbness, of disconnection, of hopelessness, of misdirection. It won't be until the blackened frostbite slowly thaws that we will relearn to heal. Again, my heart goes out to anybody who has had to be subjected to this type of behavior, and for anybody that is still standing up for this country, I applaud you and I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful that we have so many amazing actual patriots fighting for this country, and I urge you guys to keep it up. All of the protesters that are putting your life at risk, Mr. Frogman, the woman that got pepper sprayed in the face, all of the law enforcement officers that are on the right side, thank you for protecting this country. And I pray that everyone in this country is protected by God and doesn't have to be subjected to this disgusting behavior, which is unconstitutional.
Amen. Amen to that. As always, I'm glad to be able to have these open discussions. Yes, read up, refresh your memory, get that blood flowing again. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to everybody in the building.
Also want to throw out there Midas Touch, Secular Talk, and there's another one that there's a couple fantastic channels. Status Coup, Midas Touch, Secular Talk. They're fantastic places to get information. I highly suggest you look into some of these sources because they're frankly way better than any of the news sources that we have available. So start looking into people that are actually promoting real news of this country.
100. Well, look, man, we about to get up out of here. I will see you guys. Well, we'll see you tomorrow morning. If I don't, enjoy the rest of your night. Sleep on this. Share it out. Let the people know there's people that still care about the country, man. Drive safe. Don't stress out. Don't crash out. I will be sharing my link out tonight and tomorrow. The competition, the voting ends tomorrow night. So I didn't do none of this week because I didn't want to flood nobody's stuff. But I will be going on a campaign from tonight and tomorrow. So trying to bring that one home. I appreciate everybody who has been supporting. God bless. Talk to you later. Oh, do me a solid before you go.
What's the goddamn boy back?
Stay peaceful. Have a good night.
By examining his own attitude towards the possibilities of peace, towards the Soviet Union, towards the course of the Cold War.
Art muscle. It was a way of making me feel that they were a part of me.
You see it on the bridge. Wait, how they get it? If the government had to change the screw in the bridge, they had to shut it down. They got state troopers out there.